In terms of tech, may it be big data and data science algorithms, or just plain vanilla automation, or AI, which I briefly touched on, a lot of that is driving the fintech companies of today. But it is, in some ways, a young science. Human capabilities, I would say all of the investors and their gut feel and their experience has been refined and improved over many, many years. So tech can definitely try to do things that takes human a lot of time from an automation or a repetitive task perspective. But unless it has the context and the experience, which kind of builds into a lot of these machine learning and deep learning algorithms, it could be a very blunt instrument. And we kind of saw that, and not to bring in politics, but we kind of saw that as to how a lot of the predictive models failed in the recent election. Because it had human biases and it had a lot of other assumptions, and we were perceiving the results, or not we, most people were perceiving the results as they wanted to be interpreted. So unless you have the context and nuance, it is quite difficult to just use tech. So oftentimes when we go out and talk to our prospective clients, they typically say, so is this a man versus machine? Are you guys taking over? And I think the reality is for as something as nuanced as investment management and making investment decisions, may it be at an asset manager or as a hedge fund or a private equity fund, or an investor who is an institutional investor or a retail investor, it has to be man plus machine. I mean, a lot of these algorithms will give out probabilities and make predictions, but the humans need to interpret what it means. And they can spend far more time doing the more qualitative assessment and coming up with prediction and coming out with, okay, what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So I think that's where the world is going. The areas which are most vulnerable are probably the ones which are manually intensive and repetitive, which can be tackled with technology. But a lot of them would also still need human beings to provide the initial, I would say, assumptions and biases and context. So I don't think it's taking over everything, but it is probably taking over a lot of repetitive tasks. Other than that, I think it should be man plus machine.